Hi, my name is Stephen Wilkinson. I'm the head of IT operations here at End Clothing. I look after a number of teams here, including our Microsoft D365 team, who manage our enterprise resource planning system. End's relationship with Dynamo started in 2019 when they provided some support around development of the point of sale system within Dynamics. Since that time, we've continued to work with them and gradually extend their remit to include other modules within D365. I would say that I have a special connection with Dynamo in terms of my experience working with them versus working with other service providers. They are incredibly flexible and always open to feedback and changes in terms of ways of working or amending and changing their approach. They're always really easy to work with, always open to feedback, as I say, and just incredibly collaborative in comparison to maybe what I've experienced in the past where other organizations are incredibly rigid and not really prepared to flex in the way that you might want to work. Yeah, I love that about Dynamo. They're just really flexible and easy to work with. I would say with Dynamo being in Uruguay, there are some adaptations that you have to make. For example, they may not be able to attend meetings very early morning during the UK hours. However, we've put in a number of processes to mitigate those issues. Outside of that, there is really no difference between Dynamo being in Uruguay or working with a service provider in the same time zone. If anything, there are some benefits to that in as much as they're available after our normal operating hours, meaning that if there are incidents or particular pieces of project work that need to be delivered in a short space of time, then you get the benefit of both UK hours and also the Uruguayan hours too. I would say we realize significant business benefits in working with Dynamo given their D365 specialities. We, in our internal team, don't have experience in all of the various modules within D365. Being able to work with a provider that has skill sets in those areas has meant that we're able to cover any potential requirements that might be coming in from the business. For example, we don't have a lot of experience within store commerce. However, Dynamo have specific team members who are experts in that area and have really helped us progress with some of the changes that were required when we implemented that as our point of sale system. In terms of how we're measuring the success of the partnership, our internal team operates on an agile basis. So they operate in sprints and they are always looking at capacity, how much work we can get across with any set period of time. With working with Dynamo as an extension to our team, we have in essence doubled our resources, meaning that we can get across twice the amount of work that we would have originally been able to complete. So I'd say that Dynamo have a somewhat different approach to many of the other consultancies I've worked with in the past. They are incredibly flexible and they often come to us to ask how we would like to work with them. So they have a range of skill sets and experience across Dynamics, which means that there are lots of people that we can speak to about any particular challenge, and they're also super open to feedback. So even in the middle of a project, they are quite willing to change their ways of working for the better, and are always happy to have an open dialogue. So Dynamo have really helped us out during a number of critical situations within the business. For example, we had an internally developed application that integrated with Microsoft Dynamics, and we only had one individual that was providing support for that product. Dynamo supported us in migrating support for that product over to them so that we had coverage over our operational hours and an amount of redundancy should that one developer be unavailable. That has created a huge amount of confidence and safety within our business as a result of implementing that. If I had to summarize in one sentence what it's like working with Dynamo, especially in challenging or stressful situations, I would say they are the safe pair of hands that help me sleep at night.